Knicks did trade for Delon Wright. Jericho Sims went to the Bucks. That was part of the deal with Chris Middleton and Kyle Kuzma. Delon Wright, will he shoot above 27% from the field as a Knick? He's shooting 26% from the field this season, guys. I got to think, change the scenery. He gets under the bright lights of the Garden. He gets some minutes. He's going to shoot better. Or is he going to be like Ben Simmons and not want to shoot at all? I don't know. Can't tell you. What do you say, Bryan? Does he shoot above 27% from the field? Because look, I want to say he can't shoot worse, but you can. You absolutely can. Like, you can shoot worse. So what do you say? You say he is he above 27% or not?
Yeah, I will say he does that. I think he shoots above this from three also. I like Delon Wright. I've liked him for a long time. I think that, he was dealing with some injuries reportedly in Milwaukee, because if you look at his production and who he's been, like this season he had in Milwaukee just doesn't make sense. So he needs to be healthy, but we'll see. Hopefully he remains on the roster too. And I think that if that's the case, yeah, you could be talking about him, like I said yesterday, just giving you that defense on the perimeter, which is what he's mainly there to do. But yes, he should shoot better than 27% from the field, because he's never been anything close to that in his career. The lowest he's been from the field is about 40%, which is where he was last year. I think the key thing for him, though, is just the defense and the three-point shooting. He's a career 35% three-point shooter, which is basically like league average.
Right.
But the last couple years, he's been better than that. Or over the course of the last few years, actually, he's been better than that. Now that I'm looking at it, 37% in 1920 and 2021, and 21-22 was 38, and then 35, and back up to 37. So that's a really good stretch of some positive three-point results, and they're going to need that. And if he hits threes, ultimately, he's going to play.
If he hits threes in defense, he will play. He will get minutes. He will take Landry Shamet's minutes and maybe get some more, because Tom Thibodeau has not been that confident. You've seen 10 minutes for Landry Shamet one game, then 5, then maybe 7. It's kind of unknown, and you can see that Tibbs has been wavering with Landry Shamet and also Cameron Payne. And sometimes with Cameron Payne, it's because Cameron Payne will do Cameron Payne stuff. But shout out to my fellow Steelers fan. He sometimes will do some Cameron Payne stuff. But so I get all of that. I think he'll defend well. I think the unknown is the offense. How much was him just being in Milwaukee? Does change the scenery help him? I think we're going to find out. There's a way where this trade could end up in a couple of weeks, and we're like, man, Delon Wright's defending. He's knocking down a couple threes a game. You're feeling good about the minutes he's given off the bench. We'll see. This does have the potential to be sneakily a better trade than some people may recognize. I'm not saying any of you guys out there should get excited about Delon Wright. I understand why you're not excited about Delon Wright. Bryan's probably the only person that would be excited about Delon Wright, but it could be fine, right? If you hit on a trade like this and he ends up being very productive, well, that's fine. Then you don't have to worry about the buyout market, and we don't have to talk about TJ Warren and Moses Brown, and we don't have to do that anymore.
By the way, he was pretty good in the playoffs last year, and he does have playoff experience, so I think that matters. He has 41 games of playoff experience last year with the Heat. He was one of the only players who had a decent series against the Celtics. Shot 60% from three on limited attempts, but he was very effective in that series. And Spoelstra played him a ton because, they didn't have a lot of answers.
They didn't have a lot to play. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They didn't have a lot of options necessarily.
He played 27 minutes a game. He started a game. He was also actually against the Heat in that Hawks series from a few years ago. We're going into it. There was a debate about who's a better player between Jimmy Butler and Trae Young, which is ridiculous. And we saw how that sort of went. But Delon Wright's got playoff experience. And for people who may not remember, he was with the Raptors for a number of years before they won the championship. And he was on some of those teams that made playoff runs into the second round of the playoffs. So